The Thunderbird is a legendary creature in the history and culture of North American indigenous peoples. It's known for its supernatural power and strength. It holds special significance in the art, songs, and oral histories of many Pacific Northwest coast cultures. However, it's also found in various forms among the peoples of the American Southwest, East Coast, Great Lakes, and Great Plains. In modern times, the Thunderbird has gained fame as a cryptid, similar to Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. According to legend, the Thunderbird creates thunder by flapping its wings and lightning by flashing its eyes. This story's captivated my family for a long time. It's about the volcano birds. My mom was a pilot when I was a tiny kid. Although she couldn't fly anymore after 9/11, throughout my childhood she'd hang around at airports, was buddies with all the local pilots, listening to pilot radios, etc. In the early aughts, one of her pilot friends told her he'd been flying over the Aleutian Range when he noticed an enormous bird-like creature circling Mount Augustine, an active volcano. He described it as black, pterodactyl shape, and almost the size of his airplane. It shook him so much that he cut his joyride short and returned to the peninsula. My mom has always had an active imagination and was immediately captivated. She was a librarian at the time and did some research. She found an Aztec legend about Quetzalcoatl, the feathered flying serpent god of wind, and the namesake of one of the largest known pterosaurs. She nicknamed the creature her friend had seen Quetzal, and was in the middle of planning a children's book about him when Mount Augustine erupted, just shy of 6 months after Quetzal was sighted. It was a Thunderbird. We're part Choctaw, and grew up hearing stories from my grandmother about Haloa and Malatha, the two giant birds who would appear to warn humans of storms and disasters. Fast forward a couple years, and my mother, sisters, and I are beachcombing for agate. Now, we grew up on the Kenai Peninsula, east of the Cook Inlet, and across from the inlet were 3 active volcanoes. The largest in the middle was Mount Redoubt. We were comparing our findings when my baby sister pointed out an eagle. We looked up, except the eagle was all the way across the inlet, flying over Mount Redoubt. And eagles, although large, are still way too small to be spotted from that distance. This bird we saw was enormous. My mom immediately shouted, "Quetzal!" None of us had ever expected to see whatever it was with our own eyes, but there was certainly some type of giant bird over there. In March 2009, about 9 months after our own sighting, Mount Redoubt erupted, enshrouding my little hometown in smoke for almost a week. Of all the weird stuff I've heard and seen and experienced, this story is the one I treasure most.